Well, it's another morning on the treadmill, and I think we're at day 11. I'm feeling pretty good today. Woke up a little bit warm, not unusual. A little bit stuffy in the nose and the head, but not enough to take any aspirin for it, or not aspirin, but Advil for it. No body aches. Slept pretty good. Like an 8 out of a 10 for my normal, whatever my normal 10 would be, like 6 hours straight and then 2 more hours straight without a lot of dreams. I had a lot of dreams last night, so most people know that impacts the quality of your sleep. But all in all, pretty good. So today I was considering starting a new habit, and this is one that is going to be simple and seems sort of dumb to me, but I'm going to do it anyway, which is, while I was caring for my mom, it was very stressful. As if you watch my videos in Real Talk, you will see that my body was to the point of breakdown just because of all the stress. And I got into some habits that, I needed then and have carried through, and I don't need now, but because they're habits, I have to make an effort to change them. And one of those is starting to listen to a podcast the first thing in the morning. So as soon as I get up, plugging in my earbuds immediately and starting to listen to a podcast of, usually it's not a thinky podcast. It's something like just a chatty one that's more for entertainment, and the hosts are comedians. And so while they're not talking about doing comedy, they are just funny. Their interaction and their banter is just funny. So it's lighthearted and sort of gets me started, has been getting me started on the day. However, it's also another way to sort of unplug from your life and what's happening in your life, which is, while I do enjoy it, it's also a way that I've used to distract myself during the times that I was so stressed. And really, ultimately, when caring with somebody or caring for someone whose needs just keep increasing, you can hear that I lose my breath still when talking on the treadmill, whose needs just keep increasing more and more and more and more every year, you become isolated because you don't have time to get out to see friends. In my situation, when my mom was caring for her parents, she literally didn't leave the house. I mean, she had them in hospital beds in our house, but I was in college, so I didn't, I wasn't there to see the day-to-day all the time, except when I came in for breaks. And my dad worked, so he was making the money, so she just full-time was focused on them, but that still, put her in a very isolating situation, and it did that for me too, because I was caring for her in her home in a city where she lived for a week, and then I'd come back to my city and care for my kids, because I have shared custody of my children, and then brought back to her city, and I did that for years. And, over years, as everybody knows, you develop habits that, hopefully some are good, and, some are not as good, and some are bad, right? So this one's one of those not as good for me, because, you want to be able to be with your thoughts. You want to be able to get up in the morning and, there's birds outside all the time, so I wouldn't be able to hear the birds, and I wanted to be able to be silent and just have my thoughts about what is this day going to be and what do I need to get done today. But secondly, I'd like to finally be able to get back to the mindset of, visualization and visualizing what I want my day to be, not just what needs to get done. But I've just been in that situation for so long. Before that I had kids that were younger, before I started caring for my mom, and so I was also in that sort of situation. Like, you just, anybody with kids knows, you just start the day with, your feet on the ground and you're off and running, right? Somebody's like, I need this, I need that, right? So anyway, so even though this isn't a highly destructive habit. It's one that doesn't contribute to my life and sort of detracts from my life because it's taking away some peaceful thinking, taking away hearing nature, which is very soothing to me, and it's taking away my ability to visualize, which would move me forward in certain areas of my life that I want to move forward in. And thankfully, my kids are teenagers now, and they can, they're not up at the crack of dawn, they're sleeping in. So I want to begin each day not picking up my phone and plugging in a podcast and just have silence until, I get down here on the treadmill. And that's not that long. That's like 20 minutes, right? But it's enough to make a big difference. But it's enough to make a big difference in the way I feel and the way I approach the day. So, all that to say that that's the next habit that I'm going to build in. I did start yesterday. Yesterday morning I did that. And sort of the commitment was, don't look at your phone at all. So, I shouldn't say that was the commitment because that is not what I did. The thought was, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to look at my phone at all until after I've done my treadmill time. So that means I'll get my 20 minutes in the morning of just peaceful nothingness, and then I'll do my treadmill, and then I can look at my phone, if I want to, or whatever. So I didn't do that though yesterday and this morning. I did look at my phone. I didn't plug into a podcast though. So, okay, baby step number 1, but tomorrow I'm going to just not look at my phone at all. And for me, this really isn't a habit that's hard to break. I don't really care. It's more about the fact that it's a habit, so it requires consciousness not to just do it, without thinking. Again, probably the simplest habit that I'll be able to break, so that's good. So it's easy, I guess the message here is that it's easy to add on additional changes in your life if those changes aren't that difficult for you, if they don't take more time, energy, or money. They literally just take awareness, and it's not something you're quote-unquote addicted to. It's just a habit that's built up over time, right? So if you want to think about that for yourself today, are you ready to take on another micro change such as this, and yours obviously will be different potentially, but it's something that's just, it's a habit. You probably could drop it if you would just become more aware in time, in time and space, and it, just puts one more thing in your corner of making a positive change that really doesn't cost you very much at all in terms of sacrifice. And that's it. That's the day, right? So this one's longer than normal. Sorry for that. But I hope that you get off to a good start of your day. If this is the afternoon for you, I hope that your day's gone well. You've still got plenty of time to make the day that you want to make it. And all in all, the goal is to feel good about yourself and to look back on the day at the end and be like, good day. All right, good day. Did good stuff. Looking forward to tomorrow. Right? All right, so take care. I'll see you next time.